Look, I loved casual hookups. I think they're super fun. But one of the worst things that women can do is try to have those when you don't know how. Okay? That is how you get clipmatized or dead. So this is literally how I ended up in an abusive relationship, but we're not going to talk about that today. I'm going to go into a story. This is my column of a column. What the hell, mail, or you got mail, or whatever we're calling it. There's a couple things I want to hit on. One is I tell you all the time not to date older men because it usually doesn't work out well, like older, and I have lots of reasons for that. But also be careful with younger men too. Okay? Because even though younger men may be able to keep up with you, because we just run laps around men in general, I've never met a man who has as much energy as me. Even, but I dated a dude 9 years younger than me, and I called him Grandpa. Because I was like, how can you have so little energy? Now, I know I have, maybe I'm little or a lot more hyper than the average person, but I don't know a single woman who doesn't do this. Because we live in a society where women are just have to do, and men in a society where men are just taught to just take, extract labor, make her do it. So even when we don't want to be running circles around men, we do, right? So if you have a older man, he probably will be even more lazy. And by lazy, I mean entitled. So, some of the younger men can keep up with us. But let's go into a story of how this is such a terrible idea for some of us. Once as my mutual Therese talks about, we talked about in our live, which I'm still trying to edit. I don't know how to edit. That hookup culture does not benefit women who do not know how to center their pleasure and really have experience with their agency. And hookup culture that is centered on men is terrible. For cishet women who hook up with men, it is a terrible idea. You won't have fun. And if you have a lot of trauma you haven't dealt with or whatever, you're literally just going to be repeating cycles. But if you have done a certain level of work on yourself, and especially in the decentering men thing, it can be a lot of fun. Anyway, let's do a cautionary tale. Let's see a cautionary tale of a woman who was really thought she wanted nothing. But I'm telling you, how many times you've been like, I didn't want anything from this. And then you become obsessed with them, even though they're like a loser. Before we get into it, please join my Patreon, because I'm doing a live on Sunday. I've got my lives for August and July set up already. I'm so excited about them. Very special guests for all three. I do travel content, friend content, personal stories, all kinds of stuff over there. Please go check it out. All right, dear Wendy. I met a guy online and we hit it off immediately. He was 20 years younger than I am. Oh boy. All right, when I say younger men, I'm not, 20 is a lot. If that works for you, I guess, but also it depends on how old you are, this thing talks to me. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. 20 years is a lot. I judge men who date women 20 years younger, so I'm probably going to judge women who date someone 20 years younger. Unless you're like 60 and 40, maybe. I don't know. I just don't see how this just seems like a bad idea. But I don't know. 5, 7, I don't know. There's no rules here. But this seems to me like a red flag. It's 20, but since I wasn't looking for a serious relationship, and I'm quite open-minded, this didn't bother me. Now, again, before I even get into how this is a bad idea, not all women are dating for marriage. I don't think a lot of women, I mean, seriously, especially if you've already been married or just have had so many bad, like a lot of women are like, screw it. I do not because marriage benefits men more than women, unless you find a very, very, very amazing person, which is going to take a lot of vetting, a lot of time, and you may never find that person because few men will actually do the work to work on their inner lives and deconstruct patriarchy. If they're not willing to do that, you don't got a chance. You are going to be exploited by even the nicest guy is going to exploit the crap out of you if he's not willing to unpack patriarchy. And which, he's only going to be willing to do that if he thinks that you are just the most amazing thing. But this idea that women all should be, dating for marriage is crazy. At the same time, marriage gives you protection. This is such a, Marriage is not the goal for everybody, but you probably don't want to live with them because you will end up doing labor for them unless you got some legal protection. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But a lot of women, especially in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, they just want to hook up and have fun and have like a lover in every city. And that, I totally am on board with that, because long-term partnership with men, and to not end up being a hospice wife or some other crap, or be a younger dude who's going to take all your money, or make you into his mommy. Like the chance, like that's what you're up against. So a lot of women just want to live their best lives, live their Golden Girls ending, but like have a lover. And I fully support that. But you can't do that if you haven't been working on decentering men, centering this in your little hookups, right? The kitty cat takes priority. And also aren't very aware of haven't been working on any actual trauma that you have, because I don't know if I know any woman who doesn't have a little t, if not a big T, trauma. Because you may be repeating patterns of something else, or any issues with like dad or whoever. Anyway, so it seems like she goes into this thinking she can handle a casual hookup. But I don't remember the details of this. I'm kind of discovering a lot of this with y'all. As far as I remember, this is not how this is going to go. Okay. But we'll see. He also confessed that he was very much into older women. Uh-oh. Bah, bah, bah. Red flag. Any man who says this. Okay, tell me in the comments if you've had this before. When I swear to God, once I got into my 40s especially, some of the men would be like, I've always wanted to hook up with an older woman. I've always wanted, like, they literally talk to me in the messages like I'm like an exotic bird. Well, they want to hook up with a bird, but like, you know what I mean? Like, ooh, like, look at you. Like, they just wanted to experience me. And a lot of these men, it's because they know they're bad in bed and know that women will guide you around the kitty cat, right? It'll be like, go here, little there, da da da. Like a lot of men learn how to become good lovers from older women. And so either they want that, or they're just like, woo, or whatever, or they know you got money, or they know you don't want children from them. It's like, they're not worried about you, like, making them marry you, right? And making them marry, right? Like pushing to the moon because of some clock, because you want kids. Because again, if you're in your 40s especially, they're like, okay, I'm guessing that ship has passed, although it hasn't. You can have kids in your 40s. Lots of women do. Anyway, but this is a huge red flag. And very much into older women. Why? Oh, actually, I met a man here in this town who loved older women. He hooked up with one of my friends. He hooked up with this another woman who was in her 40s. He had all these older women lovers, but this man was an addict, and he basically would go after older women for their resources. And he just thought he was so much better than other men because older women loved him because he was so mature. Because he could hang. I remember hanging out with this guy, and I thought he was funny. But at the end of the day, he wasn't as mature as he thought he was. He was just arrogant. And also, I swear to God, Frenchmen have done this more than once. He asked me how old I was, and I was like, and I should have never said that. I was like, how old do you think you are? He's like 56. And I was like, I was literally 42. I was like, how do older women hang out with you if you've been this insulting? But younger men, they just, whatever. Anyway. But a lot of younger men who are really into older women, it's because they know that they're more financially secure and they won't expect anything from men. They know that older women tend to be able to take care of ourselves and we don't really need as much from them. Again, I am very much for dating younger men, but you gotta look out for this. Because if you think just like a man your age is going to turn you into his mother, try a younger man. Because you literally have usually more stability and resources, and also though that conditioning to become the mom of everyone. Even if you never wanted to be a mom like me, that little hobo casual that I dated, that is the closest to motherhood I've ever become. And holy crap, that's when I knew I wanted to be child free for sure, was dating that man. That was worse than having a child. Anyway, We chatted for 3 weeks, and he seemed smart, funny, and judging by how much time he spent online with me and by things he said, very attracted to me. Don't assume because 3 weeks. 3 weeks you chatted back and forth with this dude? I'm surprised he met up with you at all, because most men are just wasting your time, literally. Don't assume just because a man is talking to you a lot online means that he's available or interested in you. Men are bored. A lot of this is just a game to them. And a lot of them are so bored, especially if they're unemployed. But if they're bored, a lot of them don't have friends. This is like they seek so much validation from women. They just are online all the time. And we do this too. I certainly had my periods of being like, wow, why am I spending this much time online? Because I was looking for like the dopamine hit and looking for that little like, oh, wow, like this guy thinks I'm pretty or whatever, right? But 3 weeks is too long to be chatting with someone before you hook up. Seriously, if someone's chatting with 3 weeks, they probably are married or don't even live in that town or something. Because a man who's eager to meet you is not going to do a lot of back and forth for 3 weeks. So that's already weird. He previously was in a 6-year relationship which ended a year ago. That's what he says. Men lie all the time, by the way. And since then, in a 6-month relationship with a married woman, oh, here we go. So many red flags. Okay. A woman her age. That means he's really into older women. So again, this is like, there's something that anytime somebody is like really set on a type, it's not usually because they appreciate that type. It is because there's like a weird fetish or there's weird, like not like, I can be attracted to a certain type over and over and over again. But if I am like just only going after this one type, whether it is an age group, ethnicity, a race, what else? I don't know. You got to question if you were like super fixated on one group, because that may not be a preference. That may be like dehumanization or wanting something specific. And this man probably likes older women because he doesn't see us as our humanity, but more of what we can do for him, he can get from us. And all kinds of other stuff, or some mommy issues. I mean, isn't it like, I don't know about in the US, but I know one of the top like porn searches is like stepmother and like older women. And I'm like, I don't know what that's about. Oh, he's decided to join us again. I don't know. All I know, again, preferences are okay. But this guy has a track record of just really being into older women. And doesn't sound like it's a good thing. But the married woman, dude, one of the biggest lessons I learned in the last several years is that, it's like, I always go after, I thought I used to go after unavailable men. But that's because I wasn't available. When I heard that, I was like, crap, it's me. Yes, they are unavailable. But if I was available, I would go after men who were truly available. I kept going after unavailable men. This isn't the case for everybody. If it doesn't apply to you, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Maybe this video wasn't meant for you. But when I look back at it, a lot of the times I was going after men who weren't available because I truly was not ready for real intimacy. I thought I was. I wasn't ready for a real relationship. I thought I was. Or I was just repeating what I knew. I grew up with an emotionally unavailable dad who didn't want to hang out with me at all. There's so much behind it, but don't assume that just because if you continues to go after unavailable men, that means that you are possibly not available yourself, right? Or you would be so turned off by their unavailableness that you would move on. But someone like me, if I was truly available, it would not be enough for me. You know what I'm saying? I know men trick us. I know I know all that. Just saying. I did not know how bad my ex was. The little hobo I dated. I didn't know how bad that was going to be, but I always knew he was beneath me in a way, like wasn't as mature. He didn't have any money. There was no way I would end up with this man. I knew there was no way I would ever settle down with this man. And again, I thought it was just going to be, I wasn't looking necessarily for a relationship. I was just trying to get started in dating. And boy, did I choose the wrong person to do that with. And wouldn't you know, the unavailable little hobo who, love bombed and did all that other stuff ended up being unavailable in the end. And all I wanted was him because I couldn't have him. Not because I could, because I couldn't. Right? Anyway, this is so complicated. I don't want to go into it. He was very persistent and insisted that we meet at his place. No. This dude is full of red flags and she hasn't even met him yet. Persistent, insisting that they meet at his, first of all, hello, lazy. What, you don't even want to spend any money on her. Okay, that's one flag. Persistent means like, don't even respect her or what she wants. It's like, no, we have to have it this way. You need to meet at my place. That's a red flag. But also, the fact that he thinks there's nothing wrong with her going to his house on their first date. Hello, do you know anything about the lived experiences of women and how terrifying it is to be a woman? Going to a stranger's house. He could have used all fake photos. This dude could literally be catfishing her. He could be anybody, right? And she never even met this man, and he's like, come on, just meet at my place. And the fact that he does not the least bit concerned for her safety or doesn't even see that might be a safety issue means he doesn't know anything about patriarchy at all, or just, do you know women at all? Do you know women at all? This is such a red flag. I refused at first. Oh, great. First, here we go. Asking that the first meeting be in a public place, as one should. However, I ended up giving in. That right there. You know what? I would even be willing to bet that this man was testing you, insisting on something, and you're like, no. Insisting, no. Insisting on, okay. Now he knows that your no's can be turned into a yes. You're screwed, lady. This man, she has now shown her cards. This man knows right out of the gate that she doesn't respect herself. And as soon as they know that, you're screwed. You're screwed. This right here tells men right away that you're going to center him. Him. It's all about him. Okay? It's all about him now. Right out of the gate, you have abandoned yourself. Self-abandonment. You might as well just have something right here that says, I abandon myself immediately. And because that's how he knows. He knows. Do not give in. The fact that he's persistent is a big red flag to begin with. But you know how, like, we're informing people of who we are by our interactions with them? And she has just informed him, hey, I don't respect myself. Take advantage of me. I'm not saying this to victim blame. I am saying that men are smarter than we think. Predatory men especially. And he's just like, that one. Yeah. See, that's probably why he wants to meet up with her. He was like, okay, she already, boundaries are not for him. They're for her, for herself. No, I'm not going to be, okay, never mind. I ended up giving in, and I did meet him at his place. There were no sparks. I didn't feel anything for him. And see, she thinks she has the upper hand here. I don't care. But somehow things evolved into something. Oh my God, why are you on dating apps? Get off the dating apps, lady. Get off. Okay? You self-abandonment twice already. You're at his place and you're not even attracted to him. There was no sparks and you hooked up with him. That to me says that you are still coming from that place of centering men and feeling a sense of obligation. Because how did this happen? You didn't instigate it. No sparks and you didn't feel anything towards him at all. And yet you hooked up with him anyway. This man knows, oh man, you have shown your card. We did not go all the way But what we did do felt good. Oh, see, now this is when the kitty cat, rules with an iron fist, an iron paw. Kitty cat rules with an iron paw. When she's running the show, watch out. Logic, reason, intuition, even common sense goes out the window. And now you are going to become a version of yourself that you do not even recognize. You are going to hate yourself so much once she gets involved, especially if you've already abandoned yourself in every other way. This lady is so screwed, y'all. This lady is so screwed. I don't even remember what happens, and I know she's screwed, just given what little we know. And let me tell you something. The little hobos are usually really good at eating this because, like any predator, they have more at stake. So a lot, not always, but a lot of these men who are like hobosexuals, they get so, they know her better than she knows herself. They will, you will be like, wow, I didn't even know I could that many times. I didn't even know I could squirt. That these men will help you know her better than you ever did, and you are so screwed if you, oh God, y'all, I can't tell you. That little hobo is literally connected me to her. Holy crap. But the problem is, now she's in charge. This woman had no physical attraction. She was not attracted to this dude at all. And now this isn't, oh God. So screwed. I was hoping that we could have a situationship. There you go. A self-abandoning person should not be doing situationships. If you are a person who has a track record of self-abandonment, even in the smallest ways, your friends all say, where do you want to eat? And one person says, I want to go and get Thai food. And you are allergic to Thai food or whatever. Just dumb example. But you're like, okay. That, you probably do that all the time. You probably abandon yourself. Situationships, please stop dating men. You probably shouldn't be dating in general, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. But if you are a woman, since I'm a woman or patriarchy, and you date men, and you come from self-abandonment is something you are still doing a lot, please stop dating. You can't even hook up. You can't hook up. You cannot handle a situationship. You will not get anything from that but heartache and maybe more trauma. But here he is. She thinks because she's unavailable. But she has grossly underestimated her attachment styles, or whatever you want to call it, any of her trauma responses, and her self-esteem. And you cannot be in the dating world with really low self-esteem without getting really hurt. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody is going to be healed. We're always going to be healing, but it's so dangerous, y'all. This is how women end up dead. As neither of us was looking for something serious. Okay, so you already know he's not available despite all these red flags. And you think that because you don't want a relationship that you're not going to seek one. But let me tell you something.
Goodbye.
Oh, God, she scares me every time she says that. She said goodbye. Just because you don't want a relationship doesn't mean you're not going to pursue. There's something called like oxytocin and all kinds of other things and nervous system and trauma responses that are going to be like, no, you need this, you need this, you need this. Even though you're like, I don't know, it feels wrong in every way possible. Your intuition is like, hey, bring, get away from him. And you're just like, no, it feels so good. What's the worst that could happen? That's literally, I caught myself saying that to myself when I received a text from the hobo one day. And the text was so ridiculous. And I remember being like, a woman who respects herself would never date somebody who texts stuff like this. And I was like, and I literally was like, fork it. What's the worst that could happen? Blah, 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 blah. Well, almost died. He kept saying that he knew things were going to work out between us. But he doesn't want anything serious. Which is it? He's already, blah, that he's never wrong. Oh. And then I looked as great or better than my profile picture. And don't believe any of this crap. And he was sure we would meet again. Okay, first of all, That is negging right there. You look so much better than your profile photo. Do you not see that that is not a compliment? He's like, I mean, I settled for your profile photo, but wow, you're hotter than that. He's telling you profile photo is really not that great. Like, this is negging. It's very mild negging. Like, he's already giving mixed signals. I don't want anything serious, but you know what? I know things are going to work out between us. And I'm never wrong. First of all, anyone who says he's never wrong in general, that's a red flag. There's like what? Is anyone keeping count? I'm not. There's like 10 red flags already. After I left his place, he texted to thank me for an amazing evening. So what? She's probably used to men who don't do anything. She's like, wow, you must really like me. The next morning, he texted me again to ask how I was. But when I asked how he was, oh, here we go. Oh, God. Anyone who has dated men, that we know this. See, what he's doing, he is literally training her to accept less and to gaslight herself and to go crazy about him. Right? Any person who leaves you on red like this, like literally, he's sending all the perfect, as soon as you get home, that was a great night. Next morning, that was a great night. Hey, and then doesn't respond. That is intentional. Every once in a while, maybe it's because he has ADHD. I know I have ADHD, but you know what? Even with ADHD, I'm telling you, I never forget to text back someone I'm very excited about and realize, you know what I mean? I waited for a day, and then y'all, this woman is literally saying, please destroy me. When a man does not text you back, what you do not do is this. Hey, she is literally being like, I'm so needy, which means she doesn't respect herself. He already knows she's going to abandon herself and doesn't respect her own boundaries. Literally, like, the reason why I'm doing this is I think a lot, it's easy for us to just blame men for everything. This man is not off the hook for literally anything. But I want anyone who dates to understand and really start to see that our behavior signals something to predatory men. Even not predatory, even just a dude. If I'm just like, hey, I'm not actually texting because I want to talk to them. I'm texting them because I need something. I need validation. I need a sense of something. And now I'm not saying that if a dude whenever a dude truly liked me, I always knew. Now my little brain would be like, blah, 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 anyway. But I've been severely breadcrumbed, and then I've also been pursued in a healthy way. And I'm telling you, even with all my little trauma responses and all my little crazy voices, I always knew the difference. Always. Men who are interested in you, well, they don't want to lose you. They want you to know they like you. They're not going to do this. This man is literally toying with her like a cat batting a mouse around before he eats it. Do they do that? I'm pretty sure. I don't know, whatever. Bad metaphor. But her, again, going to his place, texting him when he does. See, she literally says, needy, in bright neon lights on her head. He said he was sorry, but he still had feelings for his ex, and we should leave things alone between us. What? Okay, that's a lie. His ex, which one? The married one? Or the 6-year one that he probably was lying about anyway? There probably is no ex. He's probably got like 5 other girlfriends. The messages were long but came very quickly, like he was copying and pasting them or something. Okay. See, this is the thing. I know that men can trick us so easily. I know they can do the switch up. I know they can do all this thing. They are so good. They have adapted and they are so good at their game because they have so much to lose, right? Access to us and our labor and our bodies. And at the same time, my message on here is never like, you're a sitting duck and we're all screwed. That is not my message at all. I'm not going to victim blame, but I think it's also very disempowering to leave women just thinking, oh, well, they're all going to screw me and there's nothing I can do. There's stuff you can do. One of them is getting in touch with your intuition. And this right here, her intuition knows this is copy and pasted. There's no way this man wrote this fast. See, she's smart. She knows something's off. Why is he doing this? And so I want to focus on the things we can control, not the things that we can't. Can't control men doing this. Can't control men just being ridiculous and so entitled and playing games and preying on us and stealing our money and raping us and all that stuff. We can't control that those men keep wanting to do that. Can't fix them, not our job. But what we can do is cut off access to them. And in the meantime, we strengthen our connection with our intuition. This woman knew. I'm guessing she's going to ignore it. I forget what happens. But right here, she was like, this is weird. How could he be texting this fast? Boom, 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 boom. Copy and copy. I don't even know if I would have known that. You know, when I was in my baby dating years, I would have been like, wow, that was fast. How's he type this fast? That's so impressive. Right? So she's like, nope, copy and paste it. See? I want to focus on the things. When I got out of that abusive relationship for a long time, I really hated myself and I was judging myself and I was so mad at myself. And when I started to shift from being so angry at myself to being like, and instead of being like, why didn't you see the red flags? Why do I keep being so stupid? When I went back and I started looking at all the times I was like, that wasn't right. And I knew it. That wasn't right. And I knew it. That wasn't right. I knew it. And instead of being like, go, Melanie, I was like, you know what? She knew. I actually realized I can rely on my intuition more than I think I can. I don't have a broken picker. I need to strengthen my relationship with that voice. I need to do everything to hold a microphone to the intuition instead of my trauma responses, her needs or her wants, not needs, to my nervous system and all my issues with dad and everyone else, right? That at the end of the day, I may not always be right, but my intuition saw all. She didn't know how bad it would be. I had no idea this man was so dangerous, but this was off. That's off. And I knew it. And that actually was very empowering. That helped me move away from like, God, you're so stupid, Melanie. Because it's really, I don't even care about this dude. I don't even think about him. I don't even know. I wouldn't say I forgave him, but I just don't care. I don't have any energy. All of that is towards myself. God, Melanie, go on. When I shift the focus from hating and blaming myself so much to being like, okay, this is where I abandon myself. This is where I blame myself. This is where I abandon myself. And I understand why, based on a pattern, a history of that pattern, a lot of all this trauma from my past. But the good thing is I still saw, so I knew. Part of me knew. And I want more women to start really learning, developing a relationship with that intuition and find people who will hold a microphone to that intuition. Because I promise, if she had run this by someone else, they'd have been like, yeah, that's weird. But I'm guessing she didn't. So she's going to probably excuse it. Let's see what happens. I told her that there was never any intention on my part to have a proper relationship and that I didn't feel anything either. But I thought we would... See, this is how we lie to ourselves. Yeah, you may not have had an intention, but that you don't want a relationship with him, but you are, whatever's going on here, whatever like daddy issues, and I mean, seriously, as much as I hate that term, my dad absolutely gave me these issues. I don't know what you call it, but like me desperately just wanting to, fix something from my past through dating the same kind of dude, hoping something different, right? She's saying all these things, she's telling her something, but she doesn't know how to have a situationship. And here's the other thing, a lot of this comes down to power, right? She wants to be the one to reject him. She wants to be the one to be like, I don't even want this. I just want a situation. But the fact that he knows that she's the needy one, that he has the upper hand, she will never be able to reject him because he already knows she doesn't respect herself. She needs too much, right? So she's saying all this, and you know what? I didn't even want it. Blah, 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 like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, right, we'll see. I just thought we could have a great physical relationship. That's all. I said the same thing too, honey. Oh, but I said that, but that's not actually what was going on. That's what I wanted to believe. that I just wanted, but the thing is I wanted something else. I did just want a physical relationship, but part of me did actually want a relationship. I did just want a physical relationship and just a situationship. There's a part of me that really wanted to resolve all this daddy stuff, and I wanted him to do it. You know, if we are not being honest with ourselves, and really have someone who's calling us on this stuff when we can't see it, we got no business dating. This is literally how you get your life ruined. I ended my message by saying, I hope we would never meet again. Aha! See, I know this game so bad. Like I said, she was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I just hope that we never meet again. And then after she sends it, she's checking her phone. Has he texted yet? She wants so bad for him to need her, to want her. And I don't know what her issues are, but I know if I could just be the one to walk away and turn him down. You know, but she's checking her phone. She hopes they meet again, but on her terms, so that she can. I'm telling y'all, when I realized that half the dudes when I was in this headspace, half the dudes I was dating, I was literally trying to get involved so I could be the one to leave them. Oh, remind me to tell that story. I realized that that's why I get involved. First of all, to have boundaries around it so I'd never actually have to date anybody. But I always started like a little hookup or like a little lover kind of situation right before I was about to move away so that a man would beg me to stay. But I wouldn't stay because I do what I want to do. Me desperately wanting to leave men so that I could have that power back because I had been left. You know, I mean, talk about trying to resolve childhood trauma of being abandoned by my dad. Like, literally, I saw a pattern. There were several men where I was like, yep, started dating that dude and wanted him to fall for me so then I could be like, no, I can't stay. And he'd be like, please stay. And I could be like, no, so that I can leave. You see how I was trying to like do a 180 to heal something? That isn't going to heal anything, y'all. Because the thing is, I was terribly hurt and confused because he went from charming and persistent to acting like an inconsiderate jerk. He was inconsiderate out of the gate, honey. You just didn't want to admit it. And I found his excuse about still having feelings for an ex lame and insulting to my intelligence. Yeah, but you still want to hook up with him. You still want him. When I asked what was wrong, I was expecting something like, I don't like your body because I do have 20 pounds extra. Oh, God. And why else would a guy in his right mind refuse a non-committal, discreet, strictly sexual? Okay. There's a couple things going on here. One, she's clearly deeply insecure. And, oh my God. She wants him to reject her for her 20 pounds. Because that hurts less than someone being like, no, you're beautiful, I just don't want you. Right? That's the one thing. So this is about so many things, right? But why else would a guy in his right mind refuse a non-committal, discreet, strictly like? Let me tell you something. A lot of men refuse that. Do you know how many men I was rejected by? Because I said, look what I'm offering you. Non-committal, discreet, strictly schmingle relationship. What guy? First of all, that's dehumanizing to men. Because I tell you, there are actually some men who were like, what? They wanted more than that. And I'm the one who didn't want anything more than that. And I assumed in my dehumanization of men and myself that like this little boy toy would never want anything more anyway, right? But second, dude, let me just tell you something. If you're going to go out there and you're going to try to, there are a lot of men who don't want that. And it's not even because they want a relationship. They just don't want to do this with you. Because especially if they can tell that you're really needy, that you're like, that you don't know how to have a situationship, that you are going to, that some of them get off on driving you crazy. And the ones who are just more like, just want to have fun and hook up, but not really settle down, they're gonna sense that neediness and that like unhealed trauma that's trying to play itself out. They're gonna sense it and be like, no, this woman's gonna like she's gonna like me too much. Now, some of these men are just arrogant. They assume that all women can't have, hookup situations without, but when really plenty of us can. But anyway, plenty of men who don't want that. I'm telling you, or they don't want it from you, or they want that from, I'm telling you, oh God, I have so many stories of this. I broke my own heart so many times because I just assume that if I am willing to give men schmags without any commitment, that they would all want it. And let me tell you something, some of them don't want it. They just want to hook up with you once and never talk to you again. That's all they want. They don't want, and some of them will be like, yeah, I would love to have a woman I could just hook up with but either they can't handle it, or they don't think you can handle it, or they're hooking up with so many multiple people. I'm telling you, so few men actually sign up for this. I got not my heart, but my limerence broken, whatever you want to call it, by so many men. I was like, I don't understand. Why don't you want to use me? I literally remember thinking, why doesn't he want to use me? And on some level, I was using men to use me. Please use me. Please prove that story right in my head that you are all trash. And that you're all just have no heart. You know what I mean? There's so many things that I was literally just recreating so much. Oh God, y'all, I see myself so much in this story. I cried my eyes out for 2 days because I felt like I had been treated like an object, lied to, manipulated, and then discarded so easily. Yeah, but you did this to yourself. I'm not blaming her. This dude was awful. He's a liar. He's all those things. You're not crying about this guy. And you're not even crying about what he did to you. You're crying that you let him. You're crying not because he violated your boundaries, which he did, because you violated your own boundaries. This is so hard to sit with. Because then we stop trusting ourselves because we're like, God, oh my God. All the red flags. I'm not blaming her, but I'm saying she should not be dating. This is going to keep happening. Not right now. There's too much happening inside her that she needs to work on in a lower stake situation. That's why I'm like, it's not that you have to, if you don't want to date, if you take some time off from dating, it doesn't mean forever necessarily. But the unlearning self-abandonment takes time, and you build on wins, win after win after win, and then it's easier to not self-abandon in very high-stakes situations like this, in bed with men. Because if you self-abandon with this dude and then you end up marrying him, you are literally signed up for decades of losing yourself entirely in the institution of marriage, or in even the non-institution of just hooking up and giving, getting exploited. Right? If you keep finding that you abandon yourself, please tap out of romantic relationships and start working on this stuff in lower stakes things where you can build your confidence slowly, so that when and if you go back to the dating world, you have the confidence and some practice at centering yourself, which means then you will center her. It's my ego and my value as a human that is bruised. Yeah, at least you know that. You know it's your ego. Not my feelings. It's your feelings too. But your feelings are based on your thoughts, and your ego is feeding that. As there were now, I'm still having such a hard time understanding what was on this man's mind. Please help, feeling manipulated and discarded. Okay. I think we are calling people, way too many people, narcissists. Because this seems like she's and I think there were comments in there saying, you got discarded like a narcissist, discards people. This isn't necessarily a narcissist. This is just a man living under patriarchy and doing what he wants. If this man is a narcissist, well, 90% of them are. This is just a dude who is, think about it. They literally have books about how to be a player. And being a player being how to coerce women into sleeping with you by lying and manipulating and saying whatever it is you think they want to hear. Right? This is just a man who is exploiting a system that is built for him to exploit. This is just a dude duding. Right? We cannot make men stop doing this. We can't make them heal and grow. We can't make them stop trying to steal everything from us. What we can do is start breaking the cycle of freely giving them access to us because of our own lies we tell ourselves and our own trauma that we need to deal with. That's why I'm like, please, the stakes are so high. I had no idea how high the stakes were because I just didn't date until I was 36. And then I almost died because of this hobo. Because I was like, whatever, I don't care. I just want to let it fling. I had no idea what kind of danger I was in. Because the only time I had little flings in the past is because if I was about to leave town. But I wasn't leaving town now, so there was no parameters around me testing things out. And boy, if I had to take one, I got a lot of lessons from that relationship, but one of the main ones was how high the stakes are when dating men. And to never take that lightly. The stakes. I'm not saying, you can date lightly, going to date here, going to date here. But what I'm saying is I have to learn how to self-regulate and respect my own boundaries first before I should be messing around with any of these dudes. Some of the comments that I just read, are like, you're lucky you're not on Dateline. This is what I'm talking about. She was this upset over just like one hookup. And I'm telling you, so many men will do all this stuff to like hook up. And we're like, oh, cool. Like, why would they not call us again? They have easy access. Like, I don't want anything else. I'm telling you, so many of these men will never call you again. Or he'll call you once you have gotten over him. Always stand your ground about where to meet. There's no earthly reason to skip meeting for a coffee at least. He basically bullied her into going to his house. No good ever comes from that. Like I said, don't kid yourself. You are not as into casual relationships as you profess to be. Boom. Go to the convention. Take your time to meet and get to know someone and take physically stuff. Okay, so agreed. If you want a relationship, do that. If you don't want, let me tell you something. You know how I created boundaries around this? I only hooked up with men when I started putting my toe back into the, casual relationship thing. I only hooked up with men if they didn't live in the town I was in. Or if I was on vacation, I did not have hookups with men in my town because I did not trust myself enough. And at the same time, you still got to be careful with those because I ended up in a 1-year long distance relationship because of one of those. So I could still get kitty-matized with a long distance relationship, right? I'm just saying, it's okay if you don't, getting into a relationship is such a big deal. I wish we'd stop saying that all women should only date for serious. No, why? We have so much more to lose in a bigger relationship. And, me and Teresa and I talked about this in our live. Like, do not shame women who don't want a relationship and just want lovers here and there. And don't think you can do that if you haven't really decentered men and are really, really confident in your ability to respect your own boundaries, because you will not be into casual relationships like you think. Because it's like some of these comments, that it says a lot about, I don't think you feel you deserve more. So get away from this. This is purity culture stuff. Some women do not want more than that, and that is fine. Do not bully women into thinking that they don't respect themselves if they just want something casual. The problem is that a lot of women who want something casual don't know how to handle casual. They're not ready for casual, and they don't know how to not self-abandon enough to be in such a high-stakes situation. So, in the meantime, until you have enough wins on top of win after win after win of not abandoning yourself in your friendships, with your family, at work, although that's different because you have a boss and stuff. Don't date yourself, so that your standard of just living and existing is so high and you're used to being alone that you don't need anything from these dudes, and you aren't so devastated if it doesn't work out. And if your life the quality of life goes down at all when man comes into it, then you're like, nope, right? But if you are dating from a place of desperation, fear, wanting to heal some trauma, please don't. it never ends well for you, for us. Anyway, like, comment, share. Please join my Patreon. Gotta have a live coming up on Sunday. The top 2 tiers can be there. I'll edit it as soon as I figure out how to edit and put it on YouTube for everyone else. Thank you for being here, and please stay for the comment song.
You made it to the comment song. The comment song. The comment song. You made it to the comment song. I don't like this voice. Hold on. You're at the comment song. I don't have my instrument, but you can still sing along to the comment song. Okay, I'm wrapping it up now. Are you done tapping those keys? Are you done tapping those keys? Okay, 3, 2, 1. We're ending the comment song. Let me know if you heard the comment song. Et voilà, bye bye.